As the global agendas trigger and catalyze the fear centers of the human body, the lower chakra system, the childhood traumas are brought up for integration and healing. For those who have done this work as part of their spiritual path for many years, then the residue of trauma catalyzed at this time is minimal or not present at all. Even for those with trauma still in place, the knowing of the steps to take for integration and healing is available. So the resulting childhood trauma memories are moved through naturally, with gratitude for the opportunity for more healing and holistic manifestation. Therefore, those you know as starseeds and lightworkers have an easier time, if you will, as global agendas trigger the lower chakra system into a fear-based distortion, pulling those chakras away from grounding to the planetary environment and human tribe into a perceived lack of resources, physical instability, and threat. Those who have not done this work, who remain with unknown and buried trauma, will find these patterns rising to the surface, presenting overwhelm and confusion, compounding the perceived external trauma fields. This is that which the service to self factions rely upon, and indeed there are many in this position. It is therefore of import for starseed souls to be aware of this, as they watch their loved ones move into a rapid trauma presentation that they are not equipped to deal with. This presents predominantly as the childhood memories of trauma. And indeed, if abusive memory experience is presented, this will be all the more challenging for that individual, as it will match the frequency of the perceived global agenda. The previous incarnation memories can come up, but this is more likely in the activated starseed. It is the current life childhood memory experience that is predominant in the third dimensionally connected soul. The burying and compartmentalization into disassociation is a protective measure the body-mind creates in order for the individual incarnated soul to continue to function in third density reality. Yet the global fear machine that is artificially generated is a catalyst to the unlocking of those defense mechanisms, and the memories therefore surface. Now, in the natural progression, the catalysts will be small, shall we say. We use metaphor here as there is no size to measure. Yet indeed, these catalysts will be personal and individual, and the incarnated soul will be in a position to begin the deconstruction analysis and healing necessary to move through and learn from that trauma memory experience. In the global fear presentation tactic, the catalyst in comparison is huge, shall we say, and not individual or personal. The safety mechanisms are forced open, and the trauma memories come up for integration at a time when the incarnated soul is least able to move into that integration, as new trauma lies on top of old trauma, creating a stack or layer system of trauma, and thus overwhelm or crash can occur. The crucifixion and planetary destruction templates are triggered at deeper levels, which elevate the childhood trauma memory that has been buried and has remained within a stagnant placement for that incarnated human soul. This is the hijacking of the natural spiritual awakening for that soul, and is one of the deeper layers of presentation of the artificially generated fear machine. Childhood memory of buried trauma thus surfaces, most especially through abusive experience. The unprepared soul is left overloaded and does not hold the knowing of how to move through this or to enter any unraveling experience in order to release pressure buildup. The adrenal systems of the body are thus stimulated beyond their abilities. Where the abusive experience involved the breaking of the deeply personal boundaries at the childhood stages, then gender confusion can set in, leading to many degrees of defense mechanisms. The female can develop the dark Kali patterning, and the male moves either into distorted warrior or distorted priest, as in overly aggressive and controlling, or overly submissive or manic, presenting passive-aggressive behavior, or even schizophrenic personality. These patterns are catalysts for spiritual growth, to naturally come to the surface within the divine timing of the pre-birth blueprint for that soul's incarnational journey. Yet when forced unnaturally, it is as the inducing of that which is unready and unprepared, and the gender distortions can fracture and implode instead of analysis and integration into balance taking place. Of course, all is blueprinted within the quantum solar blueprint as fractal convergent system, but we speak here in experiential linear terms for that blueprint laid out within a section of horizontal timelines rather than the spiral formation. Therefore, at that linear level, the forced induction takes place. This for starseeds will be a challenge to witness, for they do not have these issues themselves, for they have worked through them or are working through them. They are not, therefore, catalyzed into this trap, for they have the mechanisms present to deal with this. We make you aware of what we speak at this time as just one underlying pathway that is part of the multiple fear machine agenda, artificially generated and presented in your current now time of 2025 and ongoing as you go forward in your linear time experience. The agenda we speak of is engineered by the service to self factions. It is an agenda that has been in the planning for many of your Earth years. We do not speak here of the one you call Stormfire in your fictional storytelling, or those you know to wear hats of white, those that we shall call the catalysts for change. They are simply the equal and opposite reaction to the service to self structure, and are guided by the service to others' polarity personalities. For the star-seeded souls amongst them, and indeed the star-seeded souls across your planet, they are the antidote. For where there is a sting, there is always the antidote for thus nearby. This is not a savior system, for the spiritual pathways do not work through victim-savior templates, but indeed is the equal and opposite reaction and thus the antidote. Therefore, the antidote will always arise in a polarity system when the timelines and realities enter into the grand bifurcation at the time of planetary completion. The hijacking has taken place for so long that it has created what we may call earthbound souls, unable to grow their wings and fly into higher dimensions, into the direction of ascension. We speak here of the Merkaba. Now, the service to self factions throw all that they have at the current situation, for they have tried to move into full global battleground time and time again, through this way and that way, and they have been slowed down. For the spanner in the works, if you will, is the one you know as Stormfire. For as we have said, he is the last trump, and is the boy David stood before Goliath, to evolve into King David as the flag holder or torchbearer for a multi-generational movement behind him. We repeat, for a multi-generational movement behind him. This, the tribe of the Maga, is only at seeding point at your current now time, and shall grow exponentially. It begins, therefore, in your current now time, and indeed began some time ago, and continues long after the one you know as Stormfire has left his physical body and walked his path. The generations to come will honor the generals that came before, that hold the patterns of all that they once existed as and shall be again. They shall birth the new builder race for the new epoch, and with this converged quantum choice point, the number 3 shall be focused upon as the override to the polarity, entering into the Trinity, for this shall be the engineered third global chess game and the quantum third choice point for final alignment to regenesis, rediscovery and reinvention, or actualization, aurora grids and ascension. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. I am delighted to announce that the first 3 books of my Matrix Mastery teachings are now available, collected into a single omnibus edition. This information within these 3 books, making up the Matrix Mastery Omnibus, holds key codes, maps, and coordinates for anyone moving into awareness, activation, and the knowing that there is far more to the human reality on Earth than just the physical plane. As the starseeds on Earth go through the process of DNA reconstruction and regrouping of cosmic multidimensional memory, the significant codex within each transmission is downloaded to the reader directly from their own monadic avatar self. Multiple flame letter memory codes are utilized, including the rose, the chalice, the golden stargate, Atlantis, crystalline light, Excalibur, the sword of truth, the dragon, the emerald flame, and all that encompasses the holographic nature of reality. These codes are held within the most sacred twin pillars of light, your heart and your mind. The Matrix Mastery Omnibus, available now.